Okay, Sue, call is all yours.
Hey, welcome everyone to the Wednesday Night Connection webinar. As we stated last week, we're going to focus these next couple of weeks on the Know Your Score aspect of the webinar because it's really, really critical right now for everyone to know how to know your score. And by knowing your score, that means you've got to know some information about your business in order to compete, in order to make sure that your team is competing. Everybody's got to know the score. It's one of Tyler's favorite things to talk about. So tonight we are going to focus on some reporting processes for you to be able to identify where you are in relationship, especially to the AAA bonus that we went over last week. So Paul and Michael, let's get started.
All right. What you should be seeing on screen, and by the way, if you are not connected to the webinar, you can go to connectionwebinar.com. Once again, connectionwebinar.com. Put in your name and email, and you'll be instantly connected and be able to see what's on our screen. Now, what you're seeing on screen is the login page and your virtual office. So you'd put in your username and password, and we have a test demo account we're going to use here. So I'll put in that. So you can click Submit. And what we're going to be talking about is looking at the new AAA bonus qualification, because right now, until the final version of the reporting, or the reports rather, they're going to release a convention, you still need to know how you can make sure you're qualified for this bonus. Okay? So let me go ahead and start by going into the first report that we want to show. And if I go to My Reports here at the top of the screen, and I go down to Binary Placement Tree, I'm going to click on that. So there might be a little traffic jam on the information superhighway here. Okay, and then I'm going to click on Organization, okay, and expand that out so I can see the options here. I'm going to select just 3 levels, right? That's all I need to see in the report. I need to make sure I select Sponsor. So it defaults to binary. Make sure you select Sponsor, and then you're going to click on Update Report. Now this is your personal enrollment tree, okay, through 3 levels that we specified. And so everyone frontline that you personally enrolled, you're seeing there on the screen, and everyone they personally enrolled beneath them, etc., through just 3 levels. Now, every time you see a circle, that's someone who has created an AutoShip profile. It does not mean that that AutoShip profile is currently active, and we're going to clarify that more in a minute. Everyone who's a triangle does not currently have an AutoShip profile, and therefore is not eligible to receive this new bonus. So as a heads up, if you're seeing people and people that may have people beneath them like this, and they're a triangle, you're going to want to call those folks and let them know that, hey, if they put a little effort in here, they may get an extra $100 a month, or potentially maybe an extra $350 a month, etc. Okay, so we're going to just kind of clarify that for you tonight. Now, Michael, I don't know if was there anything else you wanted to chime in on this particular screen?
I think, Paul, that in that particular example where you just showed that individual with the triangle and they've got those people below them that have circles,
mm-hmm.
Up until this point, that person may be, an active distributor, and maybe he or she have several preferred customers that are contributing to their qualification, and they're active. Maybe they just manually place an order. For whatever reason, they chose not to be getting auto shipment, and yet they're out there building the business. And they may not realize that with this auto ship bonus program that we have, it's required that they're personally on auto shipment. So absolutely we want to call them and let them know that for the purposes of this additional bonus on top of everything else, they need to have their own auto ship profile to do that. So I just wanted to point that out. They may be quite happily building the business and just not even be aware that that makes a difference.
Awesome. Great point. Now, as you're looking at your own structure here, okay, let me grab that spotlight again. So you're seeing, again, your own front level, in this our example, Tammy here, her own front level enrollment. So we're looking at all these circles, and we're looking to make sure that she has at least 4 of them to make the first portion of this qualification. And then, of course, looking at the L2 and L3, we're looking for the circles. These are the people. These are the potential structures. And again, underline the word potential structures for her to make that qualification. Now, once we identify that, what we want to do is we want to go into the detailed, well, first let's take a look at an example position here. And Michael was talking about this spot right here with the triangle. Okay, notice this person has beneath them 4 people, 4 circles rather. Okay, so like we were saying, what if these 4 circles were active auto shifts? All that would mean is that this person, if they activated their own auto shift, they would immediately be qualified for the L1 bonus and be getting an extra $100 a month from that bonus. Okay, so let's see how we're going to determine if this position is qualified. Okay, first, I'm going to click on that spot on that triangle, and I'm going to double click on the ID number there, and then you can copy that. Like right click on it, select copy, or if you want to do a Control or Command C, if you're on a Mac, you can copy that number. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over here into detailed genealogy. So I'm going to click on that, see detailed genealogy, and I'm going to expand the organization out here. And I'm going to double click on this focus ID, right? Then I'll right click on it and select paste. So I'm pasting that ID number of what we just selected for that one little triangle position. Okay, now I'm going to, here levels 0 to 5, I only need to see through 3 levels, and it needs to be sponsor tree type, right? And I'm going to click update report. Okay, so, one other thing I missed out on format. You're going to need to change the format here, and we want to display the last order date and the auto ship date. By the way, guys, we are recording this, so if you need to review this, this will be posted on teamreactive.com. Okay, but basically, last order date and the auto ship date we want to also include. So we click on the update report there. Okay, and now we're seeing these fields. Okay, I'm going to let Michael kind of go ahead and describe a little bit about an overview about what we're looking at as far as what entry date means and last order date and auto ship.
Okay, so first off, what we're looking at here on the very top row, where on the far left where it says LD, that means level. And so level 0, that's the person whose ID number we pasted and put in there. So now we're looking at their organization. So what we're going to be looking at now are the people they personally sponsored, and those are the people that have a 1 there. Okay, the 2s are people below the one above the one above that. So we're looking for 1s in this case, and so we're looking for 4 1s that have an active auto ship. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go over to the column that says AS date. That's over there to the right of where you are, Paul. Mm-hmm. AS date is the auto ship date, and we're going to see wherever there's a date there, that means that they have an active auto ship profile, and in all cases, you see there's 6 auto ship dates there. So 6 of those dates all say 9/23 in this particular case. This was kind of a manually created database. Normally they won't all be the same date. So there's 6 people there that show they have an active auto shipment. Now we want to make sure that they've actually gotten their auto shipment in the month of August. So the first thing we're going to do now is we're going to go to the last order date, and we're going to see whether there's an 8/23. Since the one coming up on 9/23, that's saying that their auto ship day is on the 23rd of the month. So if the last order date is in August 23, then we know that they've received an auto shipment in August. So there we got 8/23, there we got an 8/23, there we got an 8/23, there an 8/23. So there's 4. There's actually 5 people that got auto shipments in the month of August that it looks like there. Now there's one last piece here that we want to do just to make sure, and this is the part that we want to make sure it's clear, because it's not necessarily intuitive, and that has to do with the column there called entry date. Entry date means their sign-up date. That's when they were entered into the database. So that's the day they signed up and enrolled in a SIA. And we need to verify that their entry date is not the same as our current month. So in this case, we see 10/9/2012. In fact, every one of them is in 2012. So that indicates that they're all been in the business longer than just the current month. But let me explain a situation where that would not be the case. Let's say that one of those people joined the business. They enrolled on 8/23/2013. Their last order date would be 8/23, but maybe it's not an auto ship order. That maybe it's just the enrollment order. And so we're looking to make sure that people actually have what we call a posted auto shipment, meaning that the auto ship date came and it was actually shipped, that it was successfully shipped. So as long as the entry date is earlier than the current month and the last order date is in the current month, then we are pretty much able to determine that they had, in fact, an active auto shipment in the current month. I know that sounds like a lot, and the good news is at convention we'll have a very, very simple report to be able to see this. But, you know, here we are at the end of August coming up. We've got 3 days left. And in this particular case where that person was a triangle, now that we know that they've got an L1 bonus just right for the picking, all we need to do is talk to them about going in and putting in an auto shipment and having it start immediately so that it still ships within the next few days so that they're qualified for that bonus.
Right. Because
now there's one last piece that we need to do, Paul, before we talk about that again, and that is it is possible that somebody can have an auto shipment for less than one case. They could have a 2-bottle auto shipment, and you can't tell by these reports. They would still have a circle even if they only have a 2-bottle auto shipment. So now we got to do one last report, and I'll let you drive on this one, Paul.
Okay, so I'm up at My Reports at the top there, and I'm going to select Auto Ship Report, okay, from that menu. And since I already have the ID number of that person still on my clipboard, I'm going to replace that here with that. So I'll go ahead there and do the right click and paste that ID number back. Now what I need to do is I need to select the end of next month. Okay, so I'm going to click on the little date that specifies the range for the following month, and I'll click on Next. I just select the last day of the next month, and then I'm going to click Show Report. So that's all you need to do is make sure you got the ID number there and that you select the last day of next month, so we're looking at everything that's going to process between now and the end of next month. Okay. Now, this current report is only showing the first level. Now, because we copied and pasted that specific person's ID number, you know, we know these people are all on their first level. Okay. But it should and will, when corrected, will show the levels beneath as well. So at a glance, you'll be able to look for anyone who's got 50. If you see 50 here where it says auto ship volume, okay, that's bad. Okay, that means they're only having a half a case auto ship. It does not qualify them. And again, currently, if someone has a customer, let's say they got a preferred customer, right, for one case, that's 50 PV, and then they have their own just 2-bottle case, that might be the case, then they're still active, and they're still going to carry forward the team commission or the binary commission volume, right? But in the case of the AAA bonus program, they will not be eligible for that. So we need to make sure that they're up to a one-case order personally on their spot, and the way, again, we determine that is it has to be at least 100. You don't want to see any 50s in this column. Okay, anything else you want to add on that one, Michael?
Okay, so this is the ID number of the person that was a triangle, correct?
That's correct. That's what we pasted right here.
Okay, so now we are totally sure that this person would get the $100 L1 bonus as long as they personally were on auto ship. Currently, they're not on auto shipment. So what we would do is we would call them up, we would explain the situation, and then let's show right now how this person could set up their auto ship. Actually, we guess we need to be in that person's back office to do that. But let's assume we're in their back office.
Okay.
How do we go in and set up an auto shipment?
Okay, so if I'm up here on My Business and I click on Manage Auto Ship, right? Okay, they would have a.
Yeah, right now this actually is showing an auto shipment for Tammy Martin, but
right.
Let's assume we were in the back office of the person that was the triangle. There would be no auto shipment showing.
Correct.
We'd want to set one up.
Yes, and if we did that, this button would not say create an additional auto ship order. It would just say create an auto ship order. So that's what they would do, and they would click on that button, okay, make sure they select the appropriate country, okay, and if they want to do will call, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so let's click continue. Okay, now, and here's where they're going to select their first item. So let's just say, let's keep it simple, 1 case of AAA bottles, quantity 1, right? And then the key thing is, the key thing right here is what Michael was talking about before. We need to make sure that this process is before the end of this current month if it's going to qualify for this particular month. So make sure that they do it. Let's see, today's the 28th, so let's just say we process this and make sure we have it ship day on the 29th, right? And then that would be it. We would just go ahead. You can click on, if you want to calculate the order, you can click on calculate the order and it will show the total, and then they could click continue. And there you go. They're going to put in their payment information and they're done. And
now the one thing to understand, the reason that we're picking the 29th instead of the 28th is that the auto shipments for today, the 28th, were actually processed last night. I think they processed this at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So if we happen to be going in on the 28th after midnight Eastern Standard Time, we would actually want to start it on the 30th instead of the 29th. So as long as we're doing it, the key is that we want an auto shipment that's going to process the following day. And if we put it in the current day and everything was already processed the night before, it wouldn't actually start until the next month. And so it's very important that the auto ship date begins in the future, but still in the month that we're trying to be qualified in.
And so really to summarize, guys, here, okay, this is what they would be spending, $134.50, okay? They're going to get a minimum of $100 in the AAA bonus back based on our validation or verification that their L1 structure was complete. The 4 personals and their auto ships were all in a process. So I encourage you to go, and again, the first thing you do when you go to My Reports, okay, go into Binary Placement Tree, log into your own back office, and go to Organization, just put it through 3 levels to keep it nice and concise, and select Sponsor and Update Report, and start looking for circles, okay? Looking for any potential structures here that could be close, and start getting on the phone. This is going to really help to leverage. You may call someone who said, yeah, I stopped taking a while back. I kind of ran short on funds, but I really want to start it again. Great, now's the perfect time. Because I just was noticing, you get yourself on, maybe one of these other guys you have activate as well, or get their auction, you'll make $100 extra next month. And then they go, wow, that's great. So again, you can really start to drive some volume. And again, if you're looking at this report, get on the phone with people who have their complete structure and go, hey, by the way, you're getting $100 next month. They'll be like, what? Yeah, for nothing. Okay, because there's been some amazing improvements to the comp plan. We need to sit down and I need to educate you on these new AAA bonuses that you're now qualified for. So it's a great thing. Just play around with this and get comfortable with it. Michael?
Example, look at that group that's on the far left of the tree there. Mm-hmm. Here you got a person that, just to get his L1 bonus, he just needs to get that last triangle into a circle, okay, and that will give him L1. But look below that. There's 2 people that are also close to their own L1. You got one that's got 4 circles and one that's got 2 triangles. So between that first triangle and the 2 on the bottom there, that's 3 people that potentially could be converted into auto shipment, and then that person would be entitled to an L2 bonus as well.
Mm-hmm. And so that means this person here could be getting $350 total, and this guy here getting 100, this guy here getting 100. So you can work these little pods, or as we've referred to on previous trainings, Michael terms them bricks. Right, everyone's little 4 get their bricks going. It's very manageable, and that's what really we've seen now generate some some great success because people can clearly see this and they can go, I can do that, I can do that, and simultaneously it is driving volume and adding to your binary volume as well. So be aware of that also.
And I think the last thing, Paul, is that if you bring this up and you don't have the 4 circles on your front line, let's say maybe you don't even have 4 people that you've sponsored yet, going back to knowing the score, then that tells you exactly where you should be placing your attention. And that would be to enroll a new associate with the goal of getting 4 people you personally sponsor on auto shipment. And again, it's, knowing the score, having a goal that you can put your sights on to achieve is going to dramatically impact the ability for you to actually hit that goal.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I'm going to turn the call back over to Sue. Are you there?
I am here.
Did we miss anything?
This has just been tremendous. I know that, new things take a little bit of time to learn, and this is an absolutely exciting time where we can go in, dig deep into our organizations, find structures, bring more value to them, and, we are going to have some simpler things in the near future. Right now, we've got Paul and Michael who are brilliant at helping us understand this and figure it out. So that's all I've got tonight, Paul.
All right. You know what? Really one thing, and to kind of clarify, I might have, if I can find a slide here, just to clarify that on screen, you'll see that this is an example. Is my thing up? Let's see. Should be. Yeah. Okay. So this is kind of again, this is a rudimentary kind of structural thing, but after convention, this will look a lot prettier. But they're putting in mechanisms, so at a glance, you'll be able to look at and see the quals. You won't have to go back and forth to reports. Again, this is for all you high-speed early adopters out there who I know are running hard and want to see exactly where you're at and know the score. But there are some great things that will be developed from this particular working diagram here. We're all excited to see it there at convention and looking forward to seeing everyone at convention. Okay, back to you, Sue. Thanks.
Well, again, everyone, thank you for tuning into our webinar. We'll have another Know Your Score next week in preparations for our additional really exciting connection webinars for September. So good night, everyone. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Hey, everybody.